just now getting over, still trying to get over a bad headache. I'm just looking through stuff in my phone while I was editing the channel, as far as, thumbnails or whatever. Just trying to relax, get rid of this headache. Taking a lot of meds, so I'm gonna be drowsy. It's one of those cluster headaches. But my father, he sent me the funeral information, to my little brother, and I thought to use it as a thumbnail, just to kind of put his face. It's the internet, you already know. They've had photos of my brother since God knows when, but I just wanted to put that up there. But when I put it up there, this is the first person, the closest person to me that's ever died. And very this was a kid that he wanted to be like a little gangster, and he couldn't find his way. He didn't really have a fair, when I talk about programming and just the way these kids are being raised and the way they're being bred, they're either very violent or they confused and easily convinced of just dumb shit. If it wasn't for the fact that my brother said, this stuff running our family, not mine, but his side, it gave me a little bit more clarity as to just the hereditary response to if things get bad. That's what they go to. It's just say, you know what, screw it, I'm out. And Jeremiah he didn't have an identity. He's a prime example of how these kids are being raised now with no identity. Money, the scarcity of money, the lack of certain things in life, and I'm a living witness to it, is that certain things in life, if you're not prepared, not having certain things like a job, a car, somewhere to live, somewhere to bathe, when I lost my job at Walmart, I got fired. I'm always honest about it. I never try to make it sound like I didn't do nothing wrong. No, I got fired. I went on lunch break and I had took the lunch, some wings from the deli and a lemonade, and I didn't have the money to pay for both, so I paid for the drink and just took the wings. And called me in at the end of my shift and said, we saw what you did. I didn't try to hide it or anything. It was one of them moments where I was like, I don't think if I had to go back, I think I would have done the same thing. Being that I was very hungry and that the job that I had to do at the door, checking receipts and stuff like that, I wanted to be, you have to be flexible with your attitude. So by me being very hungry and stuff like that, knowing I take these meds for migraines, I knew I didn't want to get grumpy, and that's normally what happens. I get real grumpy, real sluggish, when I have to put food on top of this medicine, so that I can be able to do my job, with a good attitude. So, but when I did that, when I lost my job, and that was a long walk home. That was a long walk home, even though it's only about 7 minutes from where I'm at now to Walmart. That was a long walk home. And I just stared into nothingness and was just so devastated and so disgusted with myself that I called my dad. I couldn't stop crying. It was like 11 o'clock. And I've always had respect for my father and him getting his rest so he can go to work. So I got so angry where I took it out on pets that I had at the time, and they are no longer here. If you kind of catch where I'm going with that, a small dog and 2 cats. I was not able to deal with the level of impatientness, I guess. So I don't know. I just began to spiral. And instead of taking myself out, I was always willing to just say, you know what, bro, I just got to pack up and go. I don't know where that is, but I just got to pack up and go. So hopefully I just, find something while walking and, set up camp wherever, because I wasn't going to just sit here and every day get up, go walking all around the place and finding jobs and all of that, and just dealing with the fact that, you might walk 45, an hour, 2 hours away from this tent, just to have to walk all the way back, just to never get a call back. Man, that is one of the most demoralizing things that I had to go through when that happened. But it never crossed my mind to take myself out, because I was always, I kind of always had a plan. And if I didn't have a plan, then I just needed time to think about how irrational am I going to get. My father just texted me saying, well, we like to contribute to a poem. I'm going to have to, speed up the conversation a little bit, so I can reply to him. But Jeremiah was a part of this generation that's just very spiritually and mentally disturbed. And see, my brother, what he went through, I guess he felt like everything was just coming down at one time. And I had already spoke on this in my own personal life, and I've said it on camera, is the fact that I was saying this from the early days of when my brother was kind of becoming an adult with his car, and I was like, dude, that's a bad idea to have you guys, I get, trust me, I understand how it is to have a girlfriend. I do. But you're moving really fast with this girl, dog, and you should have this relationship with dad. And it may sound weird, but you and dad are supposed to be building a relationship that me as an outsider, I'm supposed to be able to see like, oh, if a girl leave him, he ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that with my brother Devin. Devin now is the baby. But I knew from the get-go, you know how many times people told Devin to date this chick, date that chick. Man, this dude has some of the finest chicks as his friends. So you never had to worry about Devin coming to a point in which if he lose something, I'm just leave his dad out of it, because his dad, would have never let him do that. But Devin was mentally capable of dealing with if things go wrong. And I seen that in Jeremiah, where I was like, dog, you got you a car, so now you popping up at like some of my older brothers, like they're like, I wouldn't say brothers, because the brother Richard, that's Xavier's biological brother. They just, they live in two different towns. But Xavier introduced me to Richard some years back, and kind of, introduced me as like, hey, this is my brother, CJ, and, you never knew about him, but here he is. So we started kicking it, and Richard is a street dude. And so when I left the house and everything, and I started seeing from a distance how Jeremiah was growing up, I just told myself, like, he's gonna try to really put his foot on the gas so that he can keep up with these older guys. I remember there was a case in which we went to Richard's house, and Jerry was, I think, drinking lean or something like that, and he's asthmatic. And so he was doing a lot of just stuff, and his inhaler, he ran out of his inhaler, and he ended up just super faded, like just tore up, to the point where me and Xavier had to like put him in the backseat of his own car, and I drove, the car home, Xavier drove his car. But that's, those were moments where, and again, my older brother, I used to tell Xavier, like, dog, why are you letting him smoke with us? Why are you doing this? Like, why am I having to be the voice of reason? This is not good. And he's just like, well, shit, if I make the gesture to pass it, he take it, I can't do nothing about it. I would just say, like, that's just stupid. But I knew at some point Jeremiah was going to come to a real tough decision in life, but I didn't think he would do this. But I knew at some point, man, you and that girl, it's hard to be in a long-term relationship now. Jeremiah was born in 2003. So your chances of having, one of these 20, 30, 40 year long relationships, it's kind of difficult, man, when that girl can get on her phone and can be easily swayed about whatever she see on that phone and then bring that back to you. And back in the day, you didn't have all these extra distractions. So you'll look up and be like, damn, I've been with this person 15 years already, and we've only had 2 arguments. So I knew at some point, if he lose the girl, one of 3 things, his apartment, I was like, man, dude, he's not gonna know how to take it. He's not. Because he's living this lifestyle of, I gotta keep up with my peers. They all got cars. They all kind of get up and go. But even the other guys, I used to hang, they're kids to me. So when they would come around and stuff like that, they would all be like, Jerry can't hang, bro. Like, he ain't got the stamina. And that to me, they noticed that. So, again, man, his girlfriend was his only friend. He didn't really know anybody that could talk to him. And, the disappointing thing about me is that I'm not in a position where obviously I can help him. You know what I mean? I've made the suggestion to myself and kind of to my dad that this may be punishment for my dad, because I know in the Bible it says that the sons will be punished for the father's sins. you and your wife possibly for turning y'all back on me. And I could say that boldly. And I don't care, obviously. I'm doing just fine, but turning your back on me. I know without a doubt there was never a moment where you said, Charles, call CJ. He living outside, man. Call that nigga. I know it just snowed out there in Houston. Call him. You didn't do that. So the consequence of that is that, okay, the kid that clearly needs the most help, the most support, you guys have kind of just let him go because y'all think that, you know, he's aloof. He's not all into the trends and cell phones and, you know, lime green and hot pink tennis shoes and all that shit. You know, don't even worry about him. He'll come around. They were hoping that something in my life they will be able to point to and say, see, that's why you out there outside, because you didn't graduate. That's not, see, because you got a bad attitude. No. It's because you don't want to take care. You want to blame everybody else. No. I'm in this situation because I got tired of living with other people. I did not want to succumb to the pressure of, what if I don't feel like talking today? What if I feel like, you know, whatever I wanted to do, where I was at the time, couldn't do it. Because other people were expecting me to they wanted to see change faster than I wanted to see change. And it don't work like that. So that was something that I kind of explained to my dad in a message. Like, I was like, Dad, I think I kind of, this possibly is the reason. And if not for me, the fact that y'all knew, see, y'all are not observant enough. Y'all didn't talk about this in the church, that there is a mental illness on that side of the family. You guys don't know anything about spirituality. That's why whenever that side of the family have problems, they go to earthly treatment, drugs, or self-deletion. You know what I mean? Because none of y'all are spiritual. None of y'all's words really penetrate to the youth in a way that they take you serious. For my dad to be a pastor and Jerry to do this, where is your impact? Where is your spiritual impact as a father / pastor for where Jerry could have said, man, I'm gonna call my dad, man. My dad can help me get out of this. It's something about talking to my mom and dad, man. It's like they always bring me back to the center. But see, y'all take this spiritual stuff as we just go on Sunday. All throughout the week, we don't indulge in any type of higher frequency thinking or anything. We just, you know, trendy. And we go to church on Sunday. Meanwhile, this boy done said several times, man, I done had thoughts about it, bro. And he told me that one time, and I was like, oh, Lord. I mean, there's really, I thought to myself, like, well, shit, if he want to, like, there's really nothing I can do. I'm gonna, of course, shake my head like, dog, you don't have to do this. But in his mind, man, I ain't living in no motherfucking tent. I ain't living in my car. And what happened to him, again, he went to work. From what his girlfriend said, he went to work. They fired him, like, they didn't even give him a reason. They just told him, like, they wouldn't even let him clock in, is what she said. They wouldn't let him clock in. And, my brother is the team lead. And my older brother was like, bro, they fired him. And normally, as a team lead, I would know. Like, they would tell me. He was like, they didn't even tell me. They didn't even notify me. And he was like, I text my boss, asking, like, what the hell? Like, I told my boss, like, bro, my brother just took himself out, because he's super stressed out about all these bills. It's like, why did y'all fire him? My brother said they didn't even reply. So this is what I mean when I said that I really do. My father has been dodging these conversations of, yo, I know I'm an adult, but I'm here to tell you, dude, your wife, you need, before y'all exit this earth, you need to talk about the truth. You don't even have to do anything about it, but to know, well, we talked about it. Before I got into meditation, right around the time I got into meditation, I learned that you are supposed to walk up to your parents and tell them, I forgive you for what you were not able to do for me. Dad, but you wasn't there the way you were supposed to. Mom, I forgive you. I don't want to argue with you. But I have to say this so that I can be free, so that I can have God's spirit. I don't want a mama's spirit. I don't want a daddy's spirit. I want God's spirit, the Holy Spirit. What that does is identifies me with divinity. I don't want to be identified with flawed people like my mom and my dad. Obviously, living and breathing, all of that. But highly flawed, where I'm in my 30s and I'm playing catch up. So the headache is gone. I love you, Jeremiah. I wish you would not have done that. If I had, I'm not even gonna say that. I was about to say, if I had superhero powers, bro, I would have got a signal of you doing that and just darted over there within 20 seconds and pulled you off of whatever you did it with or whatever and said, dog, no, this is not the way. And that's another thing, and I mentioned it in another video already. What does the book say about taking yourself out? That, again, that speaks to parenting. I would call my dad. I don't care if me and my dad just had a fist fight with bats with nails in them. If I know I'm finna go off the edge, I'm going to at least call somebody, if not everybody I know, and say, yo, you got 30 seconds to give me some words of encouragement, or you're going to be able to witness in live time me do something to take away the pain. You got 30 seconds. What you mean, CJ? I'm finna exit this stage. The pain is too much. You better say something to convince me otherwise, or you're going to have to attend my funeral. Go. And if they can't say nothing, which they can't, somebody can call me right now and I drop a dime. Hey man, my wife just left me. What do I do? Continue to go to work, bro. Do you have a job? Do you have other obligations? You're going to have to drag yourself through these things, these mundane things, knowing you got 100-pound plate on your back of a wife leaving you and y'all got problems. You're not going to want to get out of bed. You're not going to want to do anything. But you have to continue to do it, because when you look back on it, you're going to say, damn, I acted like that. That was how I behaved. Trust me, I've been to work going through a breakup. You don't want to be there. All you thinking about is checking your phone, trying to rehash stuff through text and all of that. Man, I'm finna have a child. What do I do, CJ? Make sure you're there. Make sure you witness as a father as much as the operation as you can. If you can't stomach watching the thing come out, at least be there to hold that infant, because now is a time of bonding. This is a moment where there's not as much energy as intercourse being emitted, but there is a lot of energy being emitted when you see a newborn child. It will change you instantly. How do you know that, CJ, and you don't even have kids? It's part of being spiritual. I can see things 4, 5, 6, 7 miles down the road and know that I can share that information with somebody and I will be correct. So thank you guys for listening to me. I'm gonna reply to my dad. I'm out.